from a military analyst perspective, two most likely reasons, one of which is political pressure. You'll remember Anthony Blinken and Lloyd Austin, the American diplomats, were pushing very hard to Netanyahu to try to moderate his actions, to try to make clear that all civilian lives matter and give some time, buy time for the Palestinians to move south. But from the main reason, I think, is almost certainly that if you wind the clock back 2 weeks, Israel was as near to peace as it has been over the last few years. And then all of a sudden, it's looking to wage its biggest military campaign for decades. And they've mobilized 350,000 people. They've planned to a joint military operation, air, land and maritime together. And I know firsthand those are incredibly difficult operations to pull together. So training the people, getting the logistics right, preparing to do the job properly rather than fudging it, which would be extremely dangerous. I think those are the main reasons why we've seen a delay to date.
How complex a military operation will this be when Israeli ground forces do go into Gaza? I mean, what exactly will they be seeking to do?
Well, again, with my military hat on, you always want clear objectives, and it's pretty clear what Israel has said is they want to destroy Hamas. Now, that's great as an ideological ambition, but when it comes to practically speaking, Hamas is an organization, but it's also a belief system, it's also an ideology. And therefore, how do you actually do that? We're seeing the first stages of that, the bombing campaign, which is designed to take out the infrastructure, Hamas's leadership, probably some weapons supplies, communications nodes and stuff like that. But if you actually want to take out individuals, you have to end up going in on foot. And that will be an infantry operation. It won't be tanks. Tanks may well encircle Gaza City. But the urban warfare, it's no place for a tank. And therefore, it becomes extremely dangerous, extremely difficult. And you can only imagine that Hamas will fight, but then as soon as the times get tough, they'll just blend away into the Palestinian peace, the civilian population, and all of a sudden leave Israel very frustrated. And you can just imagine Israel walking away, believing job's done, and the very next day, a rocket barrage firing across the border from a petulant Hamas. It's very difficult to see what good success looks like from a military operation into Gaza.
Is it realistic or even possible to dismantle Hamas in a ground offensive? I mean, what would that look like?
Well, unfortunately, you would end up getting involved in some form of urban conflict, and without wishing to be melodramatic, the last time we saw that in recent times was the Russians going into Bakhmut. And you'll recall that 30,000 Russian soldiers died in street-to-street fighting. Every corner, every window, every door offers a threat. And that will be very, very difficult for the IDF. Plus the fact Hamas has got a network of tunnels under Gaza City known as the Gaza Metro. And some reports suggest that there are hundreds of kilometers of tunnels underneath. And the Israelis will have no idea where they are. The Hamas will have spent literally decades investing in these tunnels. By all accounts, they've got power, they've got communications, they've got weapons, they've got headquarters underground, rest areas, the like. And that means Hamas could pop up almost anywhere in the city and cause absolute carnage on the IDF. So if the Israelis do decide to go in, and I think the jury's still out about whether they will actually go right into the centre of the Gaza City, the real question is it's very difficult to see how they will be able to extinguish Hamas, and it could be an extremely costly battle for them.
Sean, good to see you. Thanks for coming on the programme. Sean Bell, Air Vice Marshal and military analyst.